story ended and began at the same time. And see, I can't even wrap my mind around the sacrifice of my King. The love that was displayed is too great to comprehend. Grace so amazing that my understanding it transcends a man so worthy to be holy royalty, but he's still willing to call me a friend. We've done nothing to deserve the mercy of an innocent man who was stretched across a tree, splinters dug into his back and a crown of thorns so that I could be set free. With pierced palms, he ripped partitions, promising that prayers and praise would be heard. You see, he fully forgave me before I could utter a single word. It should have been my blood running heavy and dripping down wood. It should have been my torn flesh, but in my place is where he stood. It was my burden of damnation that was placed upon him. It was his blameless life that was offered up for my sin. Every stone, every lash, every wound, and every gash, that should have been me. And when the crowd swarmed like moths to a flame, whether crying or condemning, they were calling out one name, Jesus! The Son of God took his final breath, and we remained alive in the presence of his death, and then it was finished. His final breath escaped his lungs as he offered himself to his Father's will, and then it was finished. Knees fell heavy as faces buried into dirt and voices wailing with a shrill, and then it was finished. Spears carved into the side of a man who already bled for humankind, and then it was finished. Even the mountains wept for our fallen Savior as he spoke one final time, "It is finished." But the story isn't over yet. Remember, this story ended as soon as it began because this perceived tragedy was all part of our Father's greater plan. And after 3 days of silence, a stone was rolled away to reveal a vacant grave. With his resurrection was brought new life so that to my sin I will no longer be slave. So I'm here to proclaim right now that there is freedom in him. If you ever felt abandoned or alone, there is freedom in him. If you're searching for love that you were never shown, there is freedom in him. If your innocence has been stolen away, there is freedom in him. If you don't know how you're going to get through another day, there is freedom in him. If you've been hurt or cheated or crushed or defeated, there is freedom in him. There is freedom within the empty nest. There's freedom in the pain. Trailing our very breath.